Hello everyone. Today in this video, I will explain how to extrude the end of a blood vessel. There can be two ways of extruding the end of a blood vessel. First one is the simple one. We might want to extrude the end of a blood vessel without changing the shape of the cross section at its end. And the second one, we might want to extrude it to a perfectly circular cross section. In this video, I will show the first method where I will extrude the end of a blood vessel without changing the shape of the cross section. In the next video, I will demonstrate how to extrude it to a perfectly circular cross section. Before we can begin, we'll need a curve at the end of the blood vessel. For that, we'll use the repair geometry option, and in that we'll click the build diagnostic topology and click apply. Once the process is done, we'll have curve at the end of the blood vessels. And would like to extrude this end of the blood vessel. As you can see, the cross section here is not a circular cross section, but somewhat distorted, or you can say elliptical in shape, and would like to extrude it as it is, keeping the shape of the cross section intact. And we would also like to extrude it perpendicular to the cross section at the end of the blood vessel. It would be helpful if we have a local coordinate system, and before we can create a local coordinate system, we'll need 3 points at the curve at its end. Let's create 3 points. We'll select the screen select option, and the first point that I am going to create will be diametrically opposite to the point that is already available on the curve. Let's say here, and another point somewhere to its right. Once we are sure about its position, we'll confirm it by clicking the wheel button of the mouse. We'll need another point right in between these two particular points, and that point will serve as the origin of the local coordinate system. Let's create a point between these two particular points. We'll do that by selecting this option of based on two locations, and we'll keep the value of parameters 0.5. Let's select the 2 points. Once we select the 2 points, we have a point right between the two particular points. In case we are not, if we are not happy with the point in between, that is, if we believe that is not near the centroid of the cross section, we may modify it. We can modify it by first deleting the point that we have created, and also the second point, and redo the whole process. This seems right, and we'll again create the point at the center. This seems okay. So let's create, now we are ready to create the local coordinate system. Just do that. Let's do that, and we'll keep the method of defined by 3 points and select the 3 points. We'll start by selecting the origin of the local coordinate system, then the point on the right, and the remaining point, and we confirm by clicking the wheel button. And just like that, we have a local coordinate system, and the y-axis is perpendicular to the cross section of the blood vessel, and we would like to extrude the blood vessel along the y-axis. For that, the first step is to translate this particular curve at the end of the blood vessel along the y-axis. In order to do that, we will use the option of transform geometry. And before we go forward, one point to be noted is that we have to switch off the geometries which we do not want to transform. In our case, we do not want to transform the surfaces, so we'll uncheck the surface and we'll just transform the curve and the points on it. Secondly, we'd uncheck the keep topology option because we want to translate only this particular curve. If we keep the keep topology option on, the other curves like this curve will also be translated. We do not want that. Thirdly, we have to check this copy option since we would like to keep the original curve at its original position. We'll keep the method to explicit, and here we'll give we have to input the distance through which we want to translate the curve along the y-axis of the local coordinate system. Let's say we want to translate the curve by a distance of 20 units along the y-axis, and as long as this local coordinate system is switched on, all the coordinate distances that we have inserted here would be according to the local coordinate system. So once everything is done, we are ready to select the curve that we want to translate. For that, we go to the select geometry option, select the curve and also the points on the curve, and confirm by pressing the wheel button on the mouse and click apply. Once we click apply, we can see the curve is translated by the 20 unit distance. At this point, if we wish, we can turn on the surface once again, and now we would like to create the extrusion surface by connecting these two particular curves. For that, we'll go to the option of create and modify surface, and we'll select the loft surface over several curves. We'll select the first curve and the second curve and confirm by clicking the wheel button of the mouse. Once we do that, the blood vessel is extruded and the cross section is same as it was the original end, as it was at the original end of the blood vessel. At this point, you might want to close the end of the blood vessel. For that, we'll select the first option, the simple surface, and change the method from 2 to 4 curves to from curves and select the translated curve. Once you've done that, confirm by clicking the middle mouse button, and just like that, we have closed the end of the extruded blood vessel. At this point, if we wish, we can delete the original curve and the curve that is created because of the extrusion. So that's it. Thank you.